Sometimes projects don't go well.
This thing tries my patience so much.
Sometimes projects take a long time to finish.
Like, I want to say some nasty words to it, but I'm not going to because that would be mean.
Sometimes you have fun and they also take a little bit of your soul away. I set out to make a Renaissance apron about a year ago, and this is my process of getting through it, now that it's 2021.
So here's the design I decided to settle on. I'm actually gonna do like that one right there. Like, can I even, 1584. It's got the longest name in the world. Anyway, essentially this kind of embroidery is really cool because you're creating negative space, right? You're filling in the negative space with embroidery, and then the white part is like the linen part. The black part is actually the part that's embroidered, and it ends up being really cool. I think I'm just gonna create my own design stitch by stitch, and that's not gonna be that hard, right? I mean, I don't think it'll be that hard.
I hate this. Okay, like sometimes I like doing projects. I'm literally making millions of squares and this thing's gonna be like an inch tall. I'm not even sure if I want to finish it. But Amber, you might be thinking to yourself, why don't you just not do it? And you know why? Because this thing doesn't also like, it also really hates not finishing things. Look at this. I just copied the repeat and it actually works. Like, it actually works. It actually works. Yay! I'm actually using this really beautiful kind of golden yellowish linen. And if anyone wants to come at me for colored linen during this time period, they can go away. So linen is one of those things that like I didn't really fully understand until I started like working with several kinds. Well, the first linen I met was like very, very rough and we didn't really get along very well. But there are others that you get where if you wash them, they just feel like so bouncy and warm and nice and nice. Okay, listen, linen, I know that this is part of your charm, the wrinkling, but the machine doesn't really like it so much, so we're just going to do this one time, and I promise you, you can be as wrinkly as you want in the future, okay? Alright, let's do it. Oh, I just realized that other people don't talk to their fabrics. That's too bad. When do we want Stablizer? When do we want it? I'm doing it already. Stop. Alright, so here we have it. We've got the first row, there's another row working on it, and I'm already at half thread. So time to order some more from Superior Threads. Okay, so I have the first run of the pattern, and now I'm going to do a fun thing where I try to extend that pattern by rehooping farther down the fabric. We're gonna see how that goes. So it's a little bit off. That's my fault actually, because I've decided to do it the hard way. But am I mad? No. I am still gonna love this. So there's two Extant aprons that I'm using as my inspiration for this project. There's this one, and then there's this one. And of course, most of the museums who took pictures of these things did not really take the time to get very close on a bunch of the details. But two of the things that I'm noticing that are the same between both is that there is gathered fabric in the middle, so the linen part is gathered, and then there is the border that has been embroidered that appears to be attached to the outside. They actually did take an up-close picture here. It looks like there's insertion that is keeping this border on here. To get the size of the fabric that I need, I just used an apron that I had and laid it on top and started cutting and just traced it that way. And if you look at the inspiration portrait, you'll see that center front she's got some trim there, so I'm going to cut my linen in half. Okay, hold on one second. Can we just for a second appreciate everything that's going on in this portrait? I mean, you've got trim, you've got ties, you've got lace, you've got, look at these shoes. Oh my God, okay, we're done. Okay, so I've gone through one of my rectangles and I have done my stitching all the way around for rolled hem. And then I have gathered a stitching at the top where it's going to go into the waistband. And so now I'm going to cut out some of this trim. So I'm having to make the smallest rolled hem of my life because I put all of my embroidery too close to each other, and so seam allowances, they matter. So I have completed all of the embroidery and the rolled hems, the insertion. So now I gotta figure out how the heck I'm supposed to do these, the fringe on the bottom. And so far I haven't really found much that doesn't involve having a loom and knowing things that I do not know. So we're gonna wing it. Sometimes we struggle so hard to make something work instead of moving on. Sometimes we leave things behind, but we still want to make things work, so we return to them. And sometimes art is just slow. Sometimes things are frustrating and we need breaks. Sometimes we need to pause and process, and that's okay too. It's not just okay, it's necessary. I'm so glad I finished this because it gave me a chance to connect with nature again, to sit. So maybe it's better to think about our piles of unfinished projects as opportunities for growth. And maybe that growth isn't sewing related. Maybe there's something between the sewing you need to do. Give yourself the time you need.